I'm so glad that you joined me today for this particular video because we're going to be discussing making a checklist for caregivers so that they will know how to communicate and work with your special needs child in the event that you're out running errands, in the event that you've gone back into the workplace, or you have started or decided to take a program of study at a university or whatever the case may be. It could be a checklist for a caregiver that you've hired, or it could be a checklist for an older sibling who may not have been paying attention to what you and your husband and or wife do for your special needs child. So they need to know in your absence what needs to be done. This needs to be a comprehensive list. It needs to be one that is well communicated. It talks about safety, it talks about communication, routines, and support, and the like. Now, in this particular video, I'm not going to do an extensive list, but I'm going to give you at least a start. Everything about your list can be organic. What might work for me may not necessarily work for you. What works for you might not necessarily work for me, but at least this will give you some idea of what you need to include, and you're always going to think of some things that I have not mentioned. Number one, you need to have communication methods on there, the kind of communication that works best for your child. Be sure to include on that list specific words or phrases that you know they understand. Every time they hear them, they know what's being asked of them. It doesn't need to be the long words. It needs to be the short words, specific words that work best. So help to identify your child's preferred communication method. Could be sign language. Maybe you have a child who is hearing impaired and the sign language needs to be in place so that a caregiver who is trained in that, or a sibling who is trained in that, knows what works best. It could be a picture board. It could be specific written words. You get the idea. Make sure that the best communication method is put on that list so that they will know what to do in your absence. Number two on this list, under the communication methods, use visual aids or social stories to help your child or to help that child to understand what's being asked of them or what's being said to them. Third thing on this particular section that really is the most important, be extremely patient. When you ask a question, understand, and I need to really get this across, understand that your special needs child is processing this information, and they process differently than most people. So when you ask the question, give them time to process. They're not being disrespectful. They're just trying to understand and to comprehend and to make sense out of what you said to them. And once you give them that time to process, give them the time that they need to be able to answer you to the best of their ability. And don't jump to any conclusions here. So communication methods. Number two on the list, you need to have the kinds of interactions that work best with your child. For example, speaking clearly and simply is always going to be the best. Avoid metaphors and sarcasm, because those things are not going to compute with someone with autism. Here's a really important thing. Do not force eye contact, because they don't necessarily understand the eye contact. As a matter of fact, it can be very disconcerting for them. I'll have more to say in another video about eye contact, so we'll save any further comments in that area for this next video. But I want you to understand, don't force it, because it can be counterproductive. Now, there are going to be times that they're going to push your buttons, they're going to push your limits. There are going to be times that they will irritate you with words or phrases or sounds, trying to get your attention. Take the deep breaths, do what you can to really not think about what's taking place there. If it's something that you can ignore, ignore it. If it's something that gets out of hand and it becomes very disruptive and it becomes where they lose their temper, whatever, certainly Discipline-wise, you need to take care of that. You need to shut that down, but still you need to do so in a very proper way. Interact with them through physical activity. They will enjoy the physical activity. They will enjoy the interaction. And also, it's going to use energy to help them to run down to get that energy out. And come maybe nap time in the afternoon, they will be ready to rest, and or bedtime, they will be ready to go to bed at their specified bedtime. Why? Because they've interacted, they've had the physical activity, and they're tired and ready to rest. But above all, be affectionate and very respectful to them. The third thing you need to have on your list is a daily routine, a very detailed routine, an established, structured daily schedule with the regular times for meals. Maybe they have therapy that they go to. It could be physical therapy, occupational therapy. That needs to be built into the schedule. Maybe they go to school at a certain time. Then those caregivers need to know when's the best time to take them, where to drop them off, where to pick them up. To make sure that that's communicated, they need to know their nap times, bedtimes, television times, or whatever the case may be. Establish a structured daily schedule. Keep disruptions to the routine at a minimum. I can tell you, just this very day, I had some things to do, had to take my daughter with me. And this is not something that we would normally do on this specific day, but we had to go. And the whole time we were gone, Daddy, 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 why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? This is not what we're to do, and so forth. And so, very disruptive to the routine. Keep those things at a minimum. Use visual schedules or charts to help the child to understand the day's activities. Our daughter worked for 10 years at a university, and so every day that she would work, she had a schedule that she would take with her so that she would know what to do first, what to do second, what to do third, what to do fourth. We knew that. Sometimes we had a job coach who would work with her and be with her when I was not able to be with her. Or we also made sure that people in the university setting knew what her schedule was so that they could help to keep her on track as well. Something else that needs to be on your list, sensory needs. Be aware of your child's sensory sensitivities and create a sensory-friendly environment. Our daughter does not like loud noises. July the 4th is such a distraction for her. She covers her ears, does not like that. Loud sounds, a siren, or whatever the case may be, she's going to cover her ears, does not like those kinds of things at all. She does not want to be startled in any particular way. And so you need to also have those on your list and create that sensory-friendly environment. Number 2 on this section, provide opportunities for sensory exploration and regulation. On a windy day, go out, let her experience or let him experience what it's like to be in a windy situation or a rainy situation so that they can at least get some idea that not every day is going to be the same. Be prepared for sensory overloads and provide calming strategies such as deep breathing or relaxation or a quiet space where they can decompress. Make sure that those kinds of things are in place. Our daughter does not like cold. She does not like snow. She does not want to build a snowman, doesn't want to have a snowball fight, wants to look at the snow, but does not want to be out in it. Our other daughter, from the earliest moment she was going to be out there till the last time we drug her in, she wanted to be out there as long as she could. But this child with autism hates that kind of thing. And so make sure that people are aware of those kinds of things. Also on the list, you need to have a list of their favorite foods. Our daughter with autism does not like a bowl of oatmeal, does not like the texture of it. She loves pie. Chocolate cream pie, coconut cream pie, whatever the case. She likes that, but she hates, absolutely hates the crust. She'll eat everything but the crust. So with her, it's easier for her if we just put the custard into a bowl, put it into the refrigerator, and she can eat it as a pudding, and that's a whole lot better for her. That's just an example of something she does not like oatmeal or pie crust, for whatever the case may be. On that list, favorite movies and or activities need to be listed there. Our daughter likes anything with Andy Griffith, loves those older movies, loves those kinds of things. That needs to be on there for someone who's going to care for them. They need to know about food allergies, or for that matter, any kind of allergy, a bee sting or whatever the case may be. They need to know what to do if there's some kind of an emergency that happens. Include the emergency numbers, include your cell phone numbers, your work numbers, the doctor's office, and all those kinds of things. If your child is on medications, make sure that you have a detailed list of the medications and really get you one of those little containers, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and have them divided out so that there's no guesswork. It's all specified right there and how it is to be given so that the child can stay on a regimented medication list for whatever the case may be. So make sure that there's a detailed list there. Here again, this is not an exhaustive list. It is a list, but it's not an exhaustive list. And like I said just a moment ago, you are going to think of some things that I haven't even mentioned. This, like I said, can be organic. So you be putting on your thinking cap about things that you need to have listed so that there are no surprises for a sibling and or a caregiver should they be staying with your special needs child in your absence. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be talking about common questions and concerns. And specifically, I'm going to start, why does my child with autism not want to make eye contact with me or anybody else? There's a reason for that. And I'm going to discuss that in greater detail in my next video. I appreciate you so very much. And if you would take just a moment right here under this particular video, you can leave any comments. All of my information is there about how you can reach out to me, cell phone numbers, and if you want to list a question or leave a question, certainly I'll be glad to answer that to the best of my ability. But I want you to take just a moment, if you would, to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can help me to build this channel to make a difference in the lives of others. I am prayerful that the things that we've discussed today are those things that will give you hope for today. This is Hope in the Works. I'm Dr. David Looney, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you, and God bless.